on my neck, the air is thick with dread. It's not the living, but the dead inside my head. Desperate for the whispers, desperate for the sign. What's beyond the living earth? Tell me what I'll find. Life after life, what do you see? Answer me, spirit, speak to me. Endless dark, oh, set me free. Life after life, show me what can be.
Welcome to an abandoned park that it's been a while since I've been here. It's been a couple of years. Currently I'm in the part of the park which is being looked after by some of the local community here, and we're going to go down to the part of the park that the council no longer take responsibility in. And back in the day, it was a lovely park. It had waterfalls, it had lovely viewing platforms, and because it's been a couple of years, I doubt it if I'm going to be able to walk on them viewing platforms, because the last time I was down there was a lot of rot on the platforms. May get around what was part of the local quarry here. On top of this cliff there is a walkway around there which was part of the park. Again, taken out of the responsibility of the council, and I don't exactly know what's going on there, and I think the park was shut down over public liability or insurance or something like that. But anyway, we're going to go down to the lower park and see the waterfalls and stuff. Now, it's an historical area. There was a story. There's an area called the priest hole, which apparently a priest was apparently put to death and thrown down this kind of cliff kind of thing. But anyway, let's go down and see if we can get down, because there has been a storm and some trees may have fallen down. Now I'm just going to make sure that there's a car coming, I think. Let's see. Right, I have to find the entrance now. There used to be an entrance through a broken piece of fence. Ah, no. It's what I feared, and they just broke. There is a hill just beyond that with a big cross on it. Can I get past this? We have to. I came a long way, and I'm not giving up. Oh no. I can get past that hurdle, but then what happens here? Because the path is along there. These trees have just fallen down, so you see there, it's called Balloon Stone. It's a shame that this place is such bad condition. I'm not giving up. I came here to do a job. Please don't break. Oh, there's a stone to stand on when I go back. So this might be. Sorry about that. This might be a waste of time. Right, where's my footpath? Right. On the road again. You see, I don't give up that easily. You can hear the waterfall from here. And there's another fucking tree. Oh my God. We had a recent storm. Oh my God, look at that. There's the viewing platform in there. Look at all these trees. A tree has gone down through the platform. But in the background you can see the waterfall. This is a shame that this is happening. You know? Those trees aren't going to be moved. You know? Because the park isn't technically a park anymore. So, you know, time is limited for this park. There used to be little gravel footpaths, and since the park closed a couple of years ago, during the winter and in the autumn when the leaves fell on it, it's been covered over, you know, by rotten vegetation and stuff like that. That has never been cleaned up. So nature is starting to take this place back. It's a pity because it's a nice park. And I have to try and get out of here safely here. Oh, I can see bits of water, mist of water coming from the waterfall, even back here. Do you know, there's even grab handles here because this is a steep hill. But you can barely make out the gravel footpath anymore. And there's a kind of a rapid down here. The priest holds around here somewhere. It's the murder hole. That's it there. You know? It's a kind of a big steep slope beyond that stone. And apparently he was supposed to be a priest that got killed here. And I'm not 100% sure about the dates. I kind of didn't plan this particular visit because I just got in the car and this is where we'll go. And I headed in this general direction. I wish him well. And there's still pennies, a few pennies there. There's a wee plaque. There's a rapid down here. Now, there's a platform to stand on, but might be a bit dodgy. Yeah, it's starting to rot away. Oh, that's a bit squishy. If a stick can go through, I'm sure I could go through, but there's the rapids there. I have to tinkle out thoughts here. Yeah, I think I'll get off this thing. Oh. I could feel the wood underneath me kind of bending there. It's very sketchy. Hello? Is there anybody here? apparently there's caves around here somewhere. Not on this track, but on this land somewhere. I've never been able to find them. I'm sure the cave is further down somewhere. Probably carved out by the water, the river that's going down there. What a shame. I was going to turn back when I seen them trees, saying, I'm not dealing with that. But we managed. There was one time I was down here doing a paranormal investigation, and I was followed around by a cat all night, and I titled the video, I got scratched. It was in the title of the video somewhere, and there was a picture of me head to head, forehead to forehead, with this little cat, who proceeded to think that my wind muffle, my microphone, was a toy to play with, and it broke my bracket for my microphone that I just bought. Right, I have to climb up on this stone. I'll show you this stone in a second, because this stone had a little hole in it. I think it was holy water or something in it, or something to that effect. Not falling would be nice. Oh God. Yeah, the worst of it's over. There was a name for this stone, but there's a little hole there. But all these trees are, and there's a place that I used to sit down and take a wee rest on the way back up, and that's that has had the tree fall on it. No, the official plaque is in there. There's an official plaque in there with the details and the official opening and all that kind of stuff. And that got that got caught up with the tree too. Oh God. I'm going to need to take a rest. I'll go back down. You got all the history here. And you know, all the stuff that was all done for this, you know, doing all local development and all this kind of stuff and making a big deal of it. That's the history of the industries that were around here. An animal doctor, hatter, nail maker, copper, dish maker, shoemaker, tailor, knitter, travelling spinning woman, pig butcher, and farm workers. You know, it's a shame that, you know, it was a nice place, you know. Cladded Development Fund. That's been there for a long time. The wee donation box. Now, the seating around this area is all recycled plastic, so it's not going to rot, you know. And the grass is kept cut and stuff, so they're looking after this area. Well, a group of people, you know, and they've raised money to put up a new fence along the back here. The rest of it is out, I'm afraid. This is kind of like it looks like a very steep cliff. Now there is a limestone quarry down the road, and possibly the quarrying happened up here too, you know, and this has left this piece of flat land, you know, carved into the side of this big hill sort of thing, you know. But back in a wee second. I do remember one time I was down here, and it was a night like this. And I was doing a wee bit of a paranormal investigation, right? And this this SUV pulls up, or a state car pulls up, and this woman gets out. And she starts looking around frantic and shouting demon. And I'm thinking, this is a bit weird. And she's walking up and down the road outside there shouting demon. Turns out it was turns out she lost her dog. It was a black Labrador. She found it. But the dog's name was flippin' Demon. I thought, I didn't know at the time. It took me until the dog showed up. We were wondering, who's this crazy lady shouting Demon? You know? I'm going to have to climb up a very steep hill to get on top of that cliff. I don't want to do that. So, while I'm here, maybe I'll go to another place, you know, to make up for this, you know. Actually, I think I know there's another flipping road. No, it's not over yet. Right, let's go. It's not over yet. Let's do this. We're still nightfish, we are. And down to the end of that road, there's a little road. I'll show you in a sec. It'll bring me into the woods. You know? I like being active at this time of the night. Means everybody else is quiet. There's some sort of reflector. Oh, there's a flipping car up there. Oh, they're having nuki up there. I can't go up there. There's a car up there and it's hiding in that little quiet driveway. I'm just going to make an assumption that it's nuki that's going on. So, yeah. Thought I was alone, but I'm not. I'm going to move to another location because this one is spent, I'm afraid. Yeah, you know, I get something out of my little trip, you know, and yeah, we'll see how it goes, you know. So yeah, on to the next place. Oh, we're at Drumboo Woods. Now, I've been here a couple of times, and a few times I've met some sketchy people down here that have been drunk and acting kind of weird and freaking me out and stuff. And so I hope I'm safe. Something weird happened leaving the last location. Now, I'm not a person to exaggerate or any of that kind of stuff. I was driving off and I was 400, 500 yards from the last location. I was driving along and then this shadow just comes out in front of the car and it was kind of like a body shape, sort of, kind of the head and shoulders. There was no arms or anything like that, but it kind of quickly went in front of the car and it braked and it didn't hit anything. But then it was like my hair started to stand up with kind of static, and I got static on my hands and on my face and stuff. It was kind of weird, where I kind of driven into this kind of static. I don't know what the flip that was about. And I would have caught it if my camera was on, but the camera wasn't, because I turned it off and I left it down in the back seat, heading for here, you know. All I can say is a personal experience, and there's 3 people flipping out, you know. Bylaws for access to the use of the forest. No person shall enter or exit, that Irish name, property other than through the gate or other opening, blah 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 blah. That's new. They look fine. They're just a man, a woman, and a child. I'm fine. It's kind of like little fairy houses around here. On the trees and stuff. keep your ears peeled, you know what I mean? Because you never know when I'm going to pick up an EVP on this shitty microphone on this camera. Because this is, you know, it's a body camera, it's from China and stuff like that. They say that the microphone is the key to the EVP kind of thing. It's 7 degrees, according to my car. But when you're walking, it seems higher, you know. Let's see how much I can do with this. You know, at least there's a place to sit every so often, you know. Keep your eyes open and your ears peeled. I'll try and boost audio as best I can, you know. Of course, I brought flipping EVP recorders and I left them in the voice recorders and I left them in the car. Lately, I've tended to just go out with my camera and just not bring equipment at all. And that's coming from a person that has lots of it. That tree's flipping massive. These are ancient forests. There's a there's a castle attached to these grounds. You know, we're on the land of this former castle. The castle still exists on the other end of the forest, and so it's a pretty historic place, you know. And the crows are going to roost. Please don't shit on me. Thank you. There's a lake or a river. The river that goes through the town of Balbofay in Stranraer is down there. And there was a tragedy of a young fella not far from there's football grounds across the road here, and don't think it's far from here, but it's along the side of the river. There's a memorial for this young fella that drowned in the river here, you know. I think I went into details the last time I was here, you know. I looked it up and put out the information, and if I can find it, I'll put it back up on this video, you know. But it's pretty noisy down here with crows. They're starting to roost. They're starting to go to bed. Now, I'll try and keep the torch off as long as I can, depend on this these IRs, because when I turn the torch on, the corners turn black. But I have to use it to see. But these two extra IR lights is actually doing not a bad job. Although the torch can get in further. Yeah. If I see something weird in the pitch dark here, I'm going to freak out because I can't see anything. I'm dependent on the screen of the camera. You know the key to, you paranormal investigators, anything like that, the key to try and get evidence is to visit the place as much as you can, you know? You go out, very often you don't get anything. But the more you go, the more chance you have, you know what I mean? I'm turning the light on now because I flipping can't see. There's another big flipping tree, look at the size of that. Yeah. Along with hearing the crows, I can hear fluttering in the trees every so often. It gets me off guard a little bit. Another big massive tree, hundreds of years old. Oh, they've been cutting up branches there, something must have fell there somewhere. Oh, there we go. What's this? Oh. I'm going to go into colour for a minute. There's a picture. John and Paddy Lafferty. It's kind of like a little plaque and a photograph done in ceramic. However they do that, I don't know. You know? Right. Oh yeah, it's better in night vision. It's a wider scope. There we go. The ground is relatively flat here. It's not very flat, but there's no big massive steep hills, which is the key to me getting around the place, because I can't do hills. There should be a little bridge here. Little wooden bridge. there's not an awful lot of sound from the water down. There's no water down there. There's not very much anyway. I'm still at the bank of the river here. The blackness that you can't see is the water. You'll see a slight little reflection of light off the water there. I'm a couple of feet away. And myself and Rachel were down here one night. We were sitting on one of the seats and we were nice and quiet. And all of a sudden a duck started quacking really loudly. And it scared the life out of me. It was very funny. I was caught off guard. There's another tree that's fallen there. And it was rotten. Well, here's the memorial here. His name is Lee, that's right. And there's some fresh flowers and all. Let me see now. Okay. There's some fresh flowers. And then there's a seat over here. Lee McGavigan. He was born in 1983 and he died in 2002. You will never be forgotten. Yeah. So, this is the recovery site, I presume. You know. But if you Google Lee McGavigan, Balbofay, County Donegal, it'll bring up the write-up if I forget to do that. You know? Just in case I forget. You know? Right. I'm gonna have a cigarette. I think I'll give you a view of inside in the forest there while I'm having my cigarette. Hopefully that the camera doesn't fall on me, you know. I've lost 50% of my battery already. It doesn't feel like I've been filming that long. And I left and I checked and I made sure it was 100%. You know, I do have the charger with me if anything does happen, but yeah, it's a lot of battery gone in a short time, which feels like a short time anyway. We'll go on another wee bit. More wood being chopped up. There's another big ancient tree there that has been cut down at one point. You know, and we're right at the water's edge here. Another little fairy house. There's a bit of an opening down here. I'll go down here. I'll do a bit of off-roading. I decided I'd turn back and head back the way, but I was technically not supposed to be doing this. You know, I had a small bit of a health crisis not so very long ago. And I've been advised not to be doing this yet. For a while, in case anything happens to me. There's still flowers on that. Oh yeah. They grow all over the place. So they're kind of when they start growing, they grow all over the place. They have these pods, and when you touch the pods, they've got a spring action on them, and they fling the seed. There's them all over along here as well. Let's see if I can demonstrate. I need to go into, you see these pods here. No, it's not quite right, that one. There's one. There you go. You hear the click? Let's see if we can get another one. We need kind of a big one. Where are we? And try this one. There you go. It springs and it curls up. It naturally just... And then it flicks a little black seed, you know. And there's loads of them there, no? And back over the bridge. This is kind of a different kind of ghost hunting, if you want to call it that. A lot of people, you know, they go into an abandoned building and you're in a room for a long time, in one place. Even though I've got mobility issues, I like to move around. I like the camera to be in, to cover a lot of ground, if you know what I mean. But then again, doing this in a forest and doing this in an abandoned house or an abandoned building is two different things. Tired. You hear the birds chirping. I'm going to have to sit on this chair when I get down there. I'll sit down for a few minutes, rest my legs. Do you know, I went out and I tried. Do you know when I go out and even if I just do these walks or whatever, I come back, I feel like I've achieved something, you know what I mean? Rather than sitting in the house, which when I was sick I had a habit of doing, and I ended up just looking at YouTube videos and not getting anything done at all, you know? Just get my breath back. There's a wee bit of a slope to get out, but it's not too bad. I just need a bit of a breather. There was times I've been down here and sitting on these seats and then you could feel, you could hear a shuffling behind you, like, you know, footsteps. But you have to take into account that there's be wildlife down here too, you know. But it does kind of put you on edge, because the first thing you turn to is it a person or something, you know, or, you know, paranormal kind of thing. It just, even though you try to think logically, you're not expecting it kind of thing. And it kind of just puts you on the edge for a second, you know. The crows have quietened down. For the most part. I spoke too soon, didn't I? You can hear a little bit. Anyway, let's go. You know, over the years there would have been more than big massive trees, and they die and rot off, and then they're replaced by younger trees. It's just the way nature takes over. But there's still the remains of some of these trees, you know. These things are massive. This one here is really, really high. There's more things stuck in this tree here. Horseshoes. Decorated horseshoes. Another seat. And there's a... Where are we? Willie Armstrong. That's a nice seat, actually. I'm going to put a bit of concrete underneath and all. It's not the most comfortable one, but it's okay. The back is a wee bit too straight. Let me just take a minute. Yeah, I'm struggling tonight. I was all flipping enthusiastic and everything. In the last place I was in, I definitely wouldn't have made it to the top of the limestone cliff. There's no flipping way. And most likely it would have been blocked by trees. Because we had another recent storm, you know. It's a pity that park isn't open, like. It was a nice place. You know, and I'm not even sure it is about insurance. You know, because one sign says trespassers will be prosecuted, and then just up where the gap is, enter at your own risk. You know? So I don't know if it was something to do with public liability insurance or just funding. I don't know. There's another big tree. There's these crow roosting areas. It's very hard to walk through them without getting shit on. And I actually didn't get shit on tonight, which is good. I'm on the last leg of my journey. There's little concrete blocks made them wee houses, just wee concrete blocks, and we, you know, made into a little house, and they're just dotted around. I thought I had footsteps up on the road there, and I don't see anything. You know, when you're in these quiet places, you have to be careful for your car, you know. That's why I didn't park it in the car park. Ooh. Oh, they're monitoring. They're monitoring how many people go in and out. I've seen that on a number of sites. You know, there's this little sensor on this pole, and there's another one over here, and it counts the people passing. You know. I'm still on 50% for some reason. Anyway, sorry couldn't be longer, I'm just tired. I'm out of shape, but I did try. And I travelled a good bit to get down here. And when I thought of the first location, thought everything was going to be good. And then when I arrived, I thought, maybe there's going to be trees falling down, and there was. There's a very sweet smell in here, son. It's weird. It's kind of weird. Anyway, I'm gonna go. There's birds shuffling around in the trees around me. Talk to you again soon. That is a very sweet smell, whatever it is. Don't know. There might be a flower, some flower in the garden next door, and some of these flowers, the scent comes out at night time with the moisture of the air. That's all I can explain, really. It's quite nice, actually. But anyway, I'm gonna go. Talk to you soon.
Celtic with hell through my veins, guide me through the ancient lanes. Wonder if